When interpreting graphs of functions, we can rewrite coordinates into what we call function notation. Function notation is written as f of x equals y, which is written right here. So for example, if you are given the coordinate 3, 1, where 3 is your x value and 1 is your y value, then you can actually write this coordinate into function notation by subbing in your x and your y value. So it would be like this: f of 3 equals 1, where 3 is your x value and 1 is your y value. So say, for instance, you're given a graph like the one that we have pictured on the left. If you are given f of x, then y is a corresponding y value on the graph. This should say y value. That's a typo. Go ahead and fix that. So for example, if you were given f of -5, we need to find -5 along our x-axis. So here's our x-axis, here is 5. We can see that right here we have a shape on x is -5. So we would write that f of x is equal to -2 because -2 is a corresponding y value. And as you can see, this is the coordinate for the pentagon. Therefore, if given f of 3, then y would equal 4 because at x is 3, we have another shape where y equals 4. And this is the coordinate for the triangle. And the same is true if you are trying to find x. So say, for example, if you are given f of x equals -5, well, -5 is your y value. We need to find the corresponding x value. So if we look for -5 along our y-axis, which is right here, the corresponding y value for that is 1. Because where y is -5, we have a shape where x is 1. And this is the circle. And for our last example, if we have f of x equals 2, we would find 2 along our y-axis, and then the answer for x would be -3, because that is the x value for the coordinate of the square when y equals 2. Now take a look at this. This is just the generic version of function notation, and keep in mind when we have a number inside the parentheses, that is the corresponding value for that is the x value for our coordinate. And when we have f of x equals something, whatever we have after our equal sign is our y value from the coordinate. So here are a couple examples. Let's say, for instance, I was given 3, -2, where 3 is x and y is -2. I can rewrite this into function notation by saying f of 3 equals -2. Same thing for this one. X is -5, y is 1, so this would be f of -5 equals 1. Here, this would be f of 6 equals 4, and so that's going from a given coordinate and writing it into function notation. Now the same is true if you're given function notation, you can write a coordinate. So if I'm given f of 9 equals -7, 9 is my x value and -7 is my y value. So I can write a coordinate from this as 9, -7. And even if there's a 0 involved, you can still write it as a coordinate. So for this second to last example, I have f of -3 equals 0. So this would be the coordinate -3, 0. And for this last one, I have f of 0 equals -14. So this would be the coordinate 0, -14. Feel free to pause this video and write these examples in your notebook.